Hi, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're returning, by now you already know the drill. You know that I'm going to be telling you the previous video solution. And so let's get into it. I remember yesterday I described a very remarkable lady. I said that she was born in the 1940s. She was the first lady in her region to attain a doctorate. Not only in her region though, she was the first lady in the eastern and western, no, not western, the eastern and the central Africa to attain a doctorate. She was also the first lady to become a female professor in Kenya, and also the very first African woman to attain, or rather to be awarded, the Nobel Peace Prize. And by now you know who I was talking about yesterday, and that was the late Professor Wangari Maathai. You know, this lady, I remember this, I don't remember really much of her. All I know about her is what I've read. But I remember she always made news. Like she didn't do what, she didn't conform, you know? She didn't conform to the rules of the society. You know, you're a lady, you're supposed to act like this. No, she did not conform to this. And I feel like this is someone that we really, really need to look up to, you know? She planted so many trees. And I remember I was watching an interview she did with this guy. I can't remember his name right now, but this guy asked her, what does environment have to do with peace? And her simple answer was, what do we fight about? We fight about resources. Where do these things come from? The ground. And so if you establish peace with the environment, or rather how the environment is conserved, then everything falls into place. And then this guy again goes on to ask, you know, your main aim is to elevate African women from, or rather, can I say, yes, I can say African women because her movement later spread on to other African countries. But at the time, she wanted to elevate the Kenyan woman, the rural Kenyan woman, from poverty. But her approach was through the environment. And so she was asked, how do these two compare? And she was like, our main economic activity is agriculture, you know? And so it only makes sense to conserve the environment, to be able to empower these women, you know. And like as she speaks and as you watch this interview, it's just like, wow. Like, wow, like I wish she lived longer. There's just so much we could have learned from this lady. So again, our lady was the remarkable Professor Wangari Maathai. And so in today's one, we are moving further down, just not too further south, but just further down from Kenya, and we're looking into a woman that was born in the 1950s. And just like Wangari Maathai, she was a feminist, she was an activist, and a politician. And in her political career, she held so many political, rather cabinet positions before she made history in 2011. This is a hint. And again, just as I said, just like Wangari Maathai, she was very passionate about empowering women, and that led her to form a foundation that was aimed as, economically liberating women. She herself was a victim of domestic violence, and so she realized that women only stayed in these relationships, or rather endured this situation, just because they felt like they didn't have options, if I can say. You know, that's what she said, that these women stay in these relationships, they stay in these situations because they were dependent on their husbands. And so if they were liberated, then they had no reason to stay in this relationship. So this is what she really, really fought for, you know. And that at a point, she when she started all this, she lived in Nairobi, and I have to add that she was not Kenyan. Yeah. The other thing about this woman is she also, just like Wangari Maathai, had so many firsts. You know, she was the first vice president in her country, and at this point I think I might have given it away, but I'm trying to make this easy. You know, this was not the main first for her. Okay, the other first is something that I cannot say, but all I can say is she has something in common with with Ellen Johnson from Liberia, and also Queen Elizabeth, not Queen Elizabeth, yeah, Elizabeth II. Those are one of the things she has in common. The other thing is that she was named the 40th most powerful woman in Africa by Forbes in the 2000s. I'm not going to tell you the year. So again, please tell me who you think our diva here is today, and I will let you guys know what the answer is in the comment sections tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye bye.